Here's something you write about seminary students. You say this: some people even seemed bored by biblical or doctrinal or practical truths that couldn't be marshaled in debates against others. This is the spirit of the age, end quote. Here's something, Russell, I've been trying to just run over in my head. I've noticed that Baptists in particular, and I count myself among the Baptists, even though I'm not in a Southern Baptist congregation, but that Baptists in particular seem to be especially attuned to political dynamics, by which I mean how their views position themselves in relation to others. And in many cases, it almost seems to be more important to them than their orientation toward biblical truth. I'm wondering if that's a byproduct of the democratic polity of Baptist churches with congregational votes and that kind of authority, but I might be way off base here. So here's your chance to set me straight. What am I observing, right or wrong, and where does this seem to come from?
Yeah, I think you're a little bit off base there, because I think that this is not unique to Baptist life. I see this phenomenon taking place in all sorts of sectors across evangelicalism, and it sort of shows up in different ways. So take aside politics for a minute, if what we mean by politics is sort of partisan, who's up, who's down, so forth. But if you think about it in terms of controversy, this is what I was talking about in the book, is that I would encounter a lot of, there was a time when, at the very beginning of my ministry, when I looked around at cultural Christianity and saw this as a problem, I thought the answer to cultural Christianity would be a theological resurgence. And so when you start seeing that, people being much more attuned to theology, I really thought this is what is needed to correct this. I no longer think that, because theology alone is not going to correct this, when the theology often becomes, even good theology, often can become just one more form of cultural Christianity. And the way that can show up is with people who will know a lot of theology, but what they know is how to argue whatever are the points of specific controversy at the moment. Now, to some degree, that's always going to be the case. If you're living in the time of Augustine, you're going to be shaped between Augustinian and Pelagian views of human nature and sin and so forth. And many of Nicaea is about controversy and so forth. The Reformation is about controversy. But there's a sense often where it's about having the answers to these specific debates, so I can tell you why complementarianism is good and egalitarianism is bad, or vice versa, why limited atonement is good and unlimited atonement is bad, or vice versa. All of those very specific debates. But sometimes these are people who really don't know what Ezekiel is about. and what I think is necessary for following Christ is a shaping and forming by the Scripture that is not all just at the cognitive level. In other words, the Word of God is shaping and forming you even in ways that you're not aware of at the time, and preparing you for questions that you're not asking at the time, and maybe no one else is asking at the time. So if we think about, for instance, Jesus in his desert temptations, people will often say, notice that Jesus is quoting Scripture, and that's exactly right. That's key. But what Jesus is not doing is quoting back scriptures that he learned in order to combat the question of what do you do about turning stone into bread. Instead, what Jesus is doing is quoting from Deuteronomy 6 and quoting from Deuteronomy 8 and quoting from the Psalms, indicating that he knows exactly where he is, that he is standing where Israel had stood before, and he's standing there in the Spirit. And I think that's often what's missing. There was a little book that I think Baker put out a couple years ago, A Concise Guide to the New Testament. And the introduction to it was gold, because the author is talking about having a generation of Bible quoters, but not Bible readers. And when I read that, I thought that's exactly right. I mean, even when you have people who would say, well, we're biblically faithful and biblically literate, and would contrast themselves with market-driven sort of evangelicalism, whatever. Often that's what it is Bible quoting, not Bible reading and Bible shaping, and that's a problem for us.